Praise y'all and him alone. We're going to do so in his name and his name only. Hawakad, Joshua the Levite, GOZ, shouts out, Brother Zaron the Servant, and the brother Big Bears, till we free. And I want to touch on something that's been really trending this whole week. I've been hearing about it all this week. You know, it's about this lady, a young lady, who lost her life over her so-called zaddy, who basically will try to say that. And before I even go any further, to be honest, I want to give, you know what I'm saying, condolences to the family members, like the parents and her, you know what I'm saying, relatives, that this tragically happened, you know, and my condolences goes out to them, and to her immediate family members. I mean, you know, the Most High, He puts things in place sometimes. It is what it is, you know what I mean? But this is a learning lesson. That's why I'm going to bring it up. You know, it's this lady, you know what I'm saying, whose name is Ashlee Janae. I don't know if you guys been hearing about this, but it's this lady who's she's originally from Philly, but she's a Instagram model. I guess she's a video vixen. I guess they said she was so-called video vixen. I'm not saying that she's chasing clout, but all I'm saying is that, you know, she's formerly known on Instagram by being in videos with, I guess, you know, French Montana, who else? I guess she had like a video with one brother, I guess he's like a Muslim or whatever, but he got like a regular name. But anyways, I just feel that, you know what I'm saying, this sister, you know what I'm saying, I mean, I don't know her from Adam and Eve, but, you know, from what, you know, I've observed and seen, because it always tells us, you know what I'm saying, in Ecclesiastes chapter 11 verse 7 is to peep the situation first before you can even judge. And like I said, I mean, I guess, you know, she felt that, you know, she didn't want to deal with, you know what I'm saying, our people. Well, not our people, but like mostly, you know, Israelite men. So she ended up dealing with his zaddy, and it cost her life. Unfortunately, she met her demise. She picked her own poison. Like I said, it's unfortunate, but these are things we gotta take heed of. We gotta take heed of all these things, because at the end of the day, when we usually put ourselves in situations like that, the Most High judges on it. Judges on it, and He gave her judgment. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but I mean, I'm just putting it on the table like how it is. I'm calling a ball and a strike a strike. It is what it is. And I wanted to, you know, bring out a couple of verses pertaining to that, you know, her whole, you know, thought process, or how she, you know, she presented herself. I mean, she's a beautiful, you know, young lady. You know, I mean, and like I said, it's unfortunate. I'm gonna keep on, you know, bringing it up. It's unfortunate that she had to lose her life. You know, saying to with, you know, saying somebody outside her, you know, saying race. You know, but you know, she despises, you know, her own people. That's sad. We shouldn't have to come down to that. But let me bring out a couple of verses. You know, saying, because I mean, like, this is what I wanted to touch on, and I wanted, you know, the audience to understand where I'm coming from when I bring this out. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 32, and it says, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. And what I mean by that, she, you know, saying, chose up. She chose up. She didn't want to, you know, saying, like, I mean, she didn't want to, you know, deal with our people, so she dealt with the others, other nations. I'm not going to say specifically which ones. I mean, I think you guys have a clue of what I'm talking about. So, I mean, like I said, I mean, reading on, and thine eyes shall long, because now her family, you know what I'm saying, her being, choosing that lifestyle, now her family's, you know what I'm saying, especially her father and mother, like I said, condolences going out, so I couldn't fathom, you know what I'm saying, how that would feel, you know what I'm saying, I would feel if, you know, my daughter, you know what I'm saying, chose to do something like that. That's why I try to teach her, you know what I'm saying, while she's young, so she knows to love her people first. But anyhow, it says, thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hands. Because, I mean, the picture was painted like she just mysteriously hung herself. And I'm not saying anything bad, you know, saying that she couldn't have did it, but I'm just saying it's really, you know, saying unlikely I would believe that. What's going on, bro? How you feeling, man?
Good, blessed.
Hey, man, stay blessed, man. You know how you do that, though, right?
Come on, just stay focused.
You gotta keep God's commandments, brother. All right?
Yeah.
All right, bro. I mean, like, it's unfortunate. It's just unfortunate that, you know, our people, you know what I'm saying, they choose to, you know, cleave to our enemies, and results you get, you know, it's sad. It's a sad scenario. But sometimes, it's, you know, shouts out to brother YG Phineas, you know, because he said this too. I remember him saying this, you know, some of our people got to look at this, see this for what it is. They got to see it for what it is. Some people are going to have to die, you know, for us to wake up. To be honest, I mean, that's what it really comes down to. Some people are going to have to die, you know, for us to wake up and find out, you know, that we can't trust our enemies. But I mean, like I said, they painted a picture saying that, you know, she committed suicide. That's what her zaddy said. His name was Joe McCann, whatever his, you know what I'm saying, the dude, I don't trust any of them dudes. You know what I'm saying, the Most High, you know what I'm saying, tells me not to. If they don't, you know what I'm saying, you know, if they don't resemble me, or, you know, they don't, you know what I'm saying, like, follow, you know what I'm saying, the same path that I follow, or if they, you know what I'm saying, feel like, you know what I'm saying, they, you know, worship that dude or whatever, I don't listen. I pay them no mind. And for that, you know what I'm saying, with that being said, I feel, you know, I feel what I believe is that this guy, I believe, you know what I'm saying, he did it. To be honest, I can't prove it, but, you know, mysteriously she hung herself. And like I said, it's up for debate. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I would say it's a real low percentage of possibility that she would do something like that to herself. And how can she do it? Because we know how it's been, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, and that's funny, only our people that happens to. They get hung, you know what I'm saying, or they say that it's suicide, and this ain't the first time this happened. It's probably gonna be the last. And again, you know what I'm saying, I mean, I guess they say he's under, you know, he's under investigation. They already, you know what I'm saying, took his passport and blase, doing an investigation on him, or investigating the murder or whatever. But I to be honest, I don't want to be, you know, I really don't want to be negative, but I'm being realistic. I think they're gonna let that guy, you know what I'm saying, walk off. For the simple fact that, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, in Tanzania or the police over there, man, that's a whole different continent, man, a whole different nation. They don't have, you know what I'm saying, like the same rules, you know what I'm saying, that they have here. Even though, you know what I'm saying, it's more wicked out here, I believe, you know what I'm saying, but again, you know, y'all knows best, man. That's all I can really tell you, man. What I'm saying is that she picked the poison. And with the result of that, got her family, you know what I'm saying, you don't grieve. That's sad. She have to, you know, she got her whole life ahead of her. Her dad, you know what I'm saying, was happy for her mom was happy for her, and then now, you know what I'm saying, you know, on the reports, on the news, when I looked at it, I checked it out, they were like, you know, it didn't make sense. The dude didn't even make sense when they were, you know what I'm saying, when he was explaining how, you know what I'm saying, her daughter, you know what I'm saying, was, you know what I'm saying, hung herself. And I would be angry too, I'd be frustrated too. I just know not to, you know what I'm saying, deal with those people, you know what I'm saying, outside my, you know what I'm saying, my race. That's just how I see it. It is what it is, you know, but like I said, I mean, these are the results you'll get, you know what I'm saying, and being selfish, causing your family in grief, you know. Deuteronomy 28:32, at its finest. But we're going to read Deuteronomy 28, verse 56 and verse 57. The tender and the delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her feet upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil toward her husband. And we know, you know what I'm saying, what that means. I'm just putting in an analogy, talking about her own people. Because that's what, you know, Moses was telling her. Because she wasn't, you know, our people wasn't dating or happy to date. You married, and you can't marry outside your race. Period, point blank. You can't do that. And we're going to get into that, you know what I'm saying, like I said, I mean, it's just unfortunate that, you know, these things have to happen for us to realize, you know what I'm saying, who we're dealing with. That's the key thing to think about. And it continues, for she shall eat them for all things secretly, in the sage of strangeness, wherewith thine enemy, again, thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. And like I said, I guess she was supposed to be engaged with this dude, and you know, now basically, I don't know their, you know what I'm saying, their jurisprudence in Tanzania. I don't know. But I would believe that, you know what I'm saying, once, you know what I'm saying, they become, you know what I'm saying, one flesh, he's going to be the, you know what I'm saying, the hierarchy. He's going to be the, you know, the one that rules over her. And it's just sad that, you know what I'm saying, this had to happen. It's sad that it had to happen, you know, because this is, you know, paying our prophecy why we shouldn't deal with other nations. Deal with our own people. And again, you know, there was, you know, parts, you know, saying in her, you know, social media where she was, you know, just talking bad about, you know, saying black men, talking about us, you know, and then, you know, she said she'd rather date outside her race. And this is, you know, the repercussions, you know, saying, went right by. You went right by you with the repercussion came. It's sad, it's a sad scenario. How y'all sisters doing? Doing all right? It's sad, you know. Our own people, you know, you try to reach out to them, and they just, you know, can't even get a high, but it's all good though. And that's a key example of what I just read. Give you that evil eye. It don't even have to be an evil eye, it's just their gesture, or how they, you know, come at you. That's another, you know, saying way of looking at it, on how they come at you. Or how, you know, you try to approach them with, you know what I'm saying, with peace and greetings and salutations, and they just look at you like, oh man, this, I don't want to have nothing to do with it. I get it though. But I get it though. But, you know, continuing, you know, so they devise, please them, Salakia, it says, and towards her young, one that cometh out from between her feet, and towards her children, which shall be, she bears. She was talking about, on Instagram, she was talking about on social media, like, man, it would be nice, it would be beautiful or pretty or cute to have, you know what I'm saying, mixed babies. And we know that, you know what I'm saying, what happens if you do that, but you ain't supposed to do that, that's forbidden. You ain't supposed to do that. Because now, you know what I'm saying, your children don't have to bear the burden, you know what I'm saying, of being your enemy now. Because you wedlock with, you know what I'm saying, the enemy. And we know, you know what I'm saying, according to Torah, Numbers, chapter 1 and 18 says you are who you were saying the seed according to your father. You are who you are according to your father. And we know that Zaddy ain't our people. It is what it is. But you know, I mean, like I said, I'm gonna keep on reading. I know I'll be pausing, you know, Salaki, you know, forgive me for that. And it says that, and towards her children she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want of all things secretly in siege and strangeness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. And then there you have it right here. Zaddy's gonna, you know, saying, get away with it. There's nothing she can do about it. She, you know, even if he did a prenup, it doesn't matter. She's still gonna have to suffer, no matter how you want to put it. And this is how she had this type of spirit. That's why I wanted to bring up this next one. You were saying 1 Maccabees 1 and 11. She had this type of spirit, you were saying, towards our own people. And I'm talking about as, you know, men. You know what I'm saying? She don't, you know, she looked at us like, you know, we were nothing. And it says, in those days, when they're out of Israel, wicked men and women, it could be women too, who pursued many, saying, let's go and make a covenant with the heathen. That's what she did. She made a covenant with the heathen. She said, I want to marry you. I want to hope that you saying we can be together forever and have a happily ever after life. You know, and she met her demise. Having that thought. Talking about thinking that the heathen, you know what I'm saying, was going to be, you know, I hate to say it, was going to be all, you know, peaches and cream, but it didn't happen that way. It happened the total opposite. And continuing, that are round about us, for since we depart from them, we have had much sorrow. So they devise please them well. Again, so this devise please them well. And that's how our people are thinking. They think, oh man, you know what I'm saying, man, like, I love this. Like, there's a lot of our people that believe that, America will be the greatest nation and nothing's gonna happen. We're gonna, destroy Iraq. Nobody can deal with us. We got, IBM missiles. We can do whatever we want. And that's not the thing. I'll tell you that right now. If you really believe that this nation's gonna, stand, then this place is about to be. You're in it for a rude awakening. That's all I can really tell you. People gotta get out of that mind frame, thinking that this is gonna last forever. No, this place, for us to receive salvation, this place has to be destroyed. And the Most High, Yah, Him alone, is gonna have to bring us out of this. Because nobody else can but Him alone. I want to read this one too. This is a good one that I always, keep in mind. Because you don't want to always, and shout out to the brothers in on the circle, because we always talk about this, about, who's really, very, very patient and very, 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 skeptical and observant of who we talk to and how we talk to people, even if they're not of our people. This came to mind. Because, just because the sister, chose to be that way and be amongst the enemy, doesn't mean that we're supposed to do this, which is Proverbs, 3 and 31 and 32. I'm going to read this. It says, envy thou not the oppressor and choose not his ways. For the forward is an abomination to Yah, but his secret is with the righteous. See, we don't got to tell these people that we don't like them. We don't have to do it, because I know a lot of camp people saying, do that. They say, you're the goddamn devil with the Bible. I get all that. But you ain't got to envy him like that. The Most High put him in that situation. That's why we got to, return to the Most High and Him alone and repent, and then the curses will reverse. If we repent and be, just like how 2 Chronicles 7 and 14 says. It's that simple. You follow that, you ain't got to worry about your oppression.
I feel like I have to serve.
I know we're in captivity, we got to make the best of it. That's what we got to do. We got to be accountable. Be held accountable for our punishment. Deal with it until it's time for us to come back. Until we're brought back into the land by our enemies. I'm going to move along with and just tell you, what we should not do. We should not do. I'm telling you, to hate these people, or what's called an envy, but this is what you got to be aware of. This is what happened to this sister Ashlee, and this is what, a lot of our people, fall victims to. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 20 and 21. It says, He hath put forth His hand against such as at peace with Him. He hath broken His covenant. The words of His mouth were smoother than butter. The words of His mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in His heart. All that, casting over Romeo and Juliet and stuff that He was, spiritual, and she fell for it. She believed that. She truly believed that. Hello, how y'all people doing? How y'all? I'm doing all right. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Believing in the Lord, made it all possible. Him and Him alone. You sisters be blessed and stay blessed, okay? God bless you, sisters. Like I said, I just try to say something, to magnify or at least uplift our people. Because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to give greetings and glad tidings. Tell our people the good news about the Most High. That's why I'm out here. But again, let me get back to this, because this verse really hits me. I'm like, dang, man, you really trust these people? You can't trust these people. The words of His mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in His heart. His words were soft than oil, yet were they drawn swords. And like I said, it's a sad scenario. I'm gonna keep on saying it. It's a sad scenario, but it has to be. It has to be displayed so we can learn from this and know what the Most High tells us not to do and what to do. And I'm just gonna end it with this one. My favorite. It's a classic. Shout out to my brother Ben. But Ecclesiasticus, or otherwise known as Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thy enemy. You should never trust your enemy. Ever. For like iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. And like I said, I can't prove that he did it, but most, I believe, I truly believe he had something to do with that. And that sister's death, I mean? And again, I want to still give shots out to her family, because they're grieving. I know they're grieving. Now they're going to get her body home. They got to do the GoFundMe, and this dude is a so-called millionaire, just let it happen. Disappeared on her, That ain't love. You put something in the comment section, tell me something else, man, and tell me something I don't know. You tell me if that's love, man, and break it down. You say put it in the comment section. But with that, I'm going to give all praises, all honor, all glory, all esteem to the Most High and Him alone. And with that, I say shalom.